Hello guys, T-Tank99 here and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be going through my NRL tips and predictions for round 15 of the NRL season. Finally doing an actual video instead of just doing a regular short TikTok whatever. But yeah, it's been pretty just the last couple of weeks. I've kind of faltered a little bit in my tips, so hopefully with this abridged round we can try to get some form of momentum back. We got 5 from 8 last week, which was okay, but we could have done a bit better. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Starting off with on Thursday night, or tomorrow night I should say, it is the Cronulla Sharks up against the St George Illawarra Dragons. Now both teams are looking to try to bounce back from momentum after copying some pretty heavy losses. The Dragons losing 56-6 to the Dolphins, while the Sharks lost 40-10 to the Warriors. So basically, yeah, both teams need to kind of sort their stuff out. Has been a fair few amount of changes. Valentine Holmes is out for the Dragons, obviously because of origin selection. Kale Iro is out for Cronulla. A lot of players coming in, but so should be quite an interesting game as both teams try to vie themselves into finals places. Obviously, with the context of both teams copying pretty substantial losses, it really just depends on who's going to have, I guess, the momentum coming into this. And I know Cronulla are more likely to be the team that, you know, cops a bad loss, but then bounces back. Kind of like to a lesser extent of what Melbourne are doing. So I feel like this really is Cronulla's game to lose, because if they lose this, then yeah, there's some problems. But I just think Sharks copped it every last week. They're back at home again, and they'll try to get a resurgence going, and I believe they'll get the job done over the Dragons. And now we go into the Friday match, and we have the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Manly Sea Eagles. Now, the Titans are coming off their loss to the All Blacks on Saturday. Well, actually, it wasn't the Titans, it was Argentina, if we're being technical about it. But their opposition, Manly, are coming off a very good first half against the Knights, and they just disappeared. I can't explain it either. Now, obviously, Mawika Fodawaker and Tina Malawi not selected for the Titans this week, obviously because of Queensland duties. Manly don't have anyone out for selection at the moment, so could be good to see pretty much two very strong forward packs, you know. Be good. Kieran Foran Cup as well. Kieran Foran will be playing as well. This should be quite an interesting match, especially if, like, Manly wanting to bounce back, especially as well Daly Cherry Evans for not getting selected as captain for the Maroons for Game 2. I think he's going to definitely want to make a statement here. And the Titans are a little bit, I guess, hapless at the moment, so not really a big shocker. I'm going to tip Manly. Now we move on to Saturday at 5:30, and we've got your Newcastle Knights taking on the Sydney Roosters. Now, the Knights are coming off a come-from-behind win over Manly. It was the first game I've been to last week, and they got booed off at halftime, and then they just won, so fair play. And the Roosters, of course, are coming off a bye, so they are fresh, but the players that are going to be out, Callum Ponga is out for the Knights due to origin selection, and Tyson Frizzell's out for a concussion. But for the Roosters out because of origin, you've got Angus Crichton, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, Robert Toya, and Spencer Leniu. That is a very substantial amount of players, but they've got some pretty decent replacements. Dominic Young will be starting this match. This will be his final match for the Roosters before he actually joins the Knights. So they're really this match is just serving as yeah, we're dropping you off, essentially. But it's going to be interesting to go. Sam Walker and Hugo Savala are the halves pairings. Jackson Hastings is back for the Knights because Fletcher Sharp's now moved to fullback to cover for Ponga. So yeah, Hastings gets probably one of his last few chances because he's not going to be at the club next year. So hopefully he garners interest elsewhere. In fairness with how I think it will happen, he'll probably just go back to England. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this match does play out. Knights are a bit backwards in terms of favourites because, you know, you still got like a fair amount of Roosters players, you know, decent Roosters players on the side. But we have officially entered the second half of the season, and the Knights could really just be in, you know what, fuck you mode, basically. And I'm going to go against the grain, going for the upset. The Knights are going to win this game for no basis whatsoever. Purely because, hey, that's a nice tips run. How about you go fuck yourself? And now we go to the 7:35 kickoff on Saturday, and we have a bit of a Queensland rivalry. It is the North Queensland Cowboys up against the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins, as mentioned earlier, are coming off a monstrous win over the Dragons. Like, they smacked them silly. They smacked them silly. And the North Queensland Cowboys are coming off a bit of a, not reality check, but it's sort of one of those matches like, all right, you kind of know where you are now in terms of position, because they have been going quite well, but then they went down to Melbourne and the Storm kind of really put the claim in. It's like, yeah, we're still one of the top teams, mate. But the Cowboys going really well. You got to say they're going really well. They're obviously still fair amount of talent out for the Cowboys in this match. Jeremiah Nanai, John Bateman, Reece Robson, Ruben Cotter, Tom Dearden, Viliami Vale are just the players who have been named out. And for the Dolphins, Max Plath and Tamisa Tuavado. Obviously, a substantial amount of them being for Origin reasons. I don't think John Bateman's going to get selected for Origin anytime soon, though he's the best Cowboy to ever play. I don't know, it's going to be quite an interesting match. Obviously, the Dolphins are the favourites in this. But the Cowboys, they could get something done. But then again, it's like, with the amount of players out, it's the possibility, because the Cowboys like to do this shit around State of Origin time. But I'm just going to say, I'm going to be a coward. I'm going to say the Dolphins win this, because I think Isaiah Katoa is just going to do a madness, as well as Kota Nikorima. Arguably the most underrated halves pairing in the NRL, and I'll die on that hill. And now we're going to the final match of the 15th round of the NRL, and it is the South Sydney Rabbitohs up against the Canterbury Bulldogs. The Rabbitohs are coming off a bit of a capitulation against the Raiders, as yeah, the Raiders are a top team now. We have to start accepting that. And obviously, the Bulldogs getting the win over the menace that is the Parramatta Eels, led by the greatest player to ever land in a Bulldogs jersey, Lachlan Galvain. It's Dune. It's Dune. They're on spice. I mean, you don't want to make jokes about Western Sydney. I guess there's a lot of similarities between Dune and Belmore. But yeah, the Bulldogs are beating their long-time rivals, so this is going to be quite an interesting matchup, to say the very least. Obviously, both teams are going to be affected by players being out. Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell out for the Rabbitohs, and for the Bulldogs, Kurt Mann, Matt Burton, Max King, and Stephen Crichton. It's going to be interesting, but I just feel like with Latrell and Cody Walker out, I don't think it's going to go that great. I mean, it could, but I don't think it will. I just think the Bulldogs have got that deep of a bag that they're going to be started. Lachlan Galvin starting at 6. It's going to be a great day for people with hood-rich hoodies. So I'm going to say the Bulldogs win here. And that's going to be the end of the tips for round 15. Who you guys have this week, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.